Now I'm going to show you a full example solve using the method I just taught. You can pause the video and follow along with the scramble on the screen. So the first thing we want to do is to build the daisy. For that, we find the 4 white edge pieces. They're here, 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 and here. So let's start with this one. This is very straightforward to put on the top layer, just like that. This one is also very straightforward to put on the top layer, just like that. Now here we have the white red edge, and as you can see, it's on the top layer, but it's flipped. So we hold it on the right, we bring it down to the front like so. And now if we try to bring it up, as you can see, it kicks out the white and green edge. So we move this edge out of the way and then we bring this up. Similarly, for the white and orange edge, if we bring it up directly, it kicks out the white and blue edge. So we move this edge over and then we bring this edge up. And that completes our daisy. Now we want to finish our cross. Look at the edge in front. It's the white red edge. So we want to align the front color with its corresponding center, like so. And then just move it to the bottom. Moving on to the next edge, white orange. We align it with the orange center and put it at the bottom. The white blue edge is already aligned with the blue center, so we just move it to the bottom. And finally, we have the white green edge. So we move it to align it with the green center and then we move it to the bottom. Now, moving on to the corners of the first layer. We look for any corners on the top layer that have white on them. For instance, here we have the white, red, and blue corner. We try to find where this corner belongs, which is going to be here, between the white, blue, and red centers. So, we move the corner directly on top of where it belongs, and then we repeat this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U prime. And you keep repeating it until the corner gets solved. Like so. Next, let's move on to the white, green, and orange corner. We first find where this corner belongs, which is between the white, green, and orange centers. We move the corner directly on top of where it belongs. And once again, we repeat the same algorithm until this corner is solved. Just like that. Next, we have the white, blue, and orange corner. We find where this corner belongs, which is over here, between the white, blue, and orange centers. We move it directly on top of where it belongs, and once again, perform the same algorithm until this corner is solved. Just like that. ओके, अब यहाँ पे मुझे मेंशन करना चाहिए क्या कि एक कॉर्नर पहले से ही सॉल्व मिला था हमें क्रॉस के बाद? Yeah. The fourth corner, the white, green, and red corner, was already solved when we finished our cross. It's not uncommon to run into certain lucky cases like this. So now we move on to the edges of the second layer. We look for any edges in the top layer that don't have yellow on them. For instance, here let's look at the red and blue edge. We look at the color on the front, which is red. So we align this with the red center. Next, using the color on the top, we try and determine where this piece goes, to the right or to the left. Since this is the red-blue edge, you can clearly see that it goes to the left because it belongs in between the red and blue centers. So we perform this algorithm. U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime, and that solves this edge. Next, let's take a look at the orange and green edge. The color in the front is orange, so we align it with the orange center. Using the color on the top, we can determine that this edge belongs on the left, between the orange and green centers. So we perform the same algorithm. And that solves this edge. Next, we have the green and red edge. Once again, the color in the front is green, so we align it with the green center. Using the color on top, we determine that this edge also goes to the left because it belongs in between the green and red centers. So we perform the same algorithm. And that solves this edge. Finally, we have the orange and blue edge. Once again, the color in the front is orange, so we align it with the orange center. Using the color on the top, we can determine that this edge belongs on the right, between the orange and blue centers. So we perform this algorithm. U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that solves this edge. The next step is orienting the yellow edges. By looking at the edges, we can see that there are two edges that are correctly oriented and they are adjacent to each other. So this is an L case. We hold this L so that the oriented edges are in the back and the left, and we perform this algorithm. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And as you can see, that reduces it to this case where you have two oriented edges but they are across from each other. So this is known as a line case. We hold it so that the oriented edges are on the left and the right, and we perform the same algorithm one last time. And as you can see, that orients all of our edges. For corner orientation, we notice that this case has only one corner oriented. So we hold it in the front left and we perform this algorithm. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. As you can see, once again it reduces to a case where only one corner is oriented. So once again, we hold the oriented corner in the front left. And we perform the same algorithm one last time. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And that orients all of our corners. The next step is corner permutation. In this case, as you can see, we have two corners solved correctly with respect to each other and no other corners are matching. In this case, we align the permuted corners with their corresponding color, in this case blue, and we hold these on the left and we perform the T permutation. R, U, R prime, U prime, R prime, F, R2, U prime, R prime, U prime, R, U, R prime, F prime. As you can see, in this case, we also happen to skip edge permutation and we have a fully solved cube.